the one-liner is that it's about giving people insight into corporate culture and doing it in a way that's geared toward the positive. I think it varies. If they're looking for a job, it's pretty obvious. They want to find out about culture of a company, or they want to research companies. But I think if they're not looking for a job is when it gets interesting. I think for a lot of the people, it's just merely they're curious. Am I the only one who wasn't happy with my bonus last year? If I can find out that 20% of only 20% of people around the world felt their bonus was adequate, well, maybe that's powerful for me, and maybe I should calm down. But 50% of my coworkers thought their bonus was adequate. Okay, well, maybe I do have something to be upset about, right? So there's two angles on it, right? What's normal, and then what's normal for my company. And these are things that I always used to wonder. Like, did everybody else get a crappy raise?
Yeah. You've
Right.
kind of gone down the route of kind of the Zuckerberg route, where maybe privacy's over, everyone needs to carry an identity through. I jumped on with the LinkedIn sort of profile and whatnot, and it is the case you can't actually activate it without a social API. Is that right?
Right. Well, we wanted to prove that it was real people.
Yep.
Not just somebody signing up with a fake email address and then answering questions. We really wanted to prevent people in HR from taking the poll over and over and over again. So the social graph actually helps us do that. But then we do sort of make sure that you won't ever be tied to your answers.
I can see the value, but is this kind of just a social contribution that Bullhorn are making? I mean, what's the business idea behind this, Art?
Well, so we're trying to build up a community, right? So and that's going to take a long time. We're trying to build up a lot of data about companies. So for it to become truly useful, a lot of people have to use it. So, I don't think we're in the phase of trying to figure out how to monetize it yet, anywhere near that. To start, it's just really, this is just me trying to change the way people research companies and give people a great outlet to do it, but also, give people some interesting information about their coworkers along the way, and make it fun and interesting and engaging, and actually then takes the data and do something with it.
How much do you think that it might apply? And I know this is sort of, as you mentioned, on the monetization side, it's not sort of in the forefront of your mind at the moment. But how much value do you think this will eventually be as a management tool? For people in a company to be able to monitor morale of staff, for example, and those types of things.
Yeah, I think companies can come to us and say, we want to know more insight about our people, and how are they answering these questions, and we might get that, but I want to avoid it becoming some sort of corporate tool. I think that sullies the authenticity of the site. If there's a feeling that, okay, the boss is actually, got special access to the data, would be bad. I think that'd be bad. So we're trying to keep it devoid of corporate influence.
Yeah.
And really be sort of, just, and that's why we ask some of these wacky questions like, are your coworkers hot? There's not a big company in the world that would let me ask that of their coworkers, right? We have a team of folks that work on the site, and everybody comes up with questions, and some people come up, like my CFO came up with a question the other day, which I thought was brilliant. And his question was, have you ever seen a coworker naked? Which tells you something about the culture if, 50% of the...
Right, absolutely.
50% have seen each other naked, then you know that that's a place where they like to have a good time.
I want to join that company.
Yeah,
exactly. So that's,
I couldn't now that I'm married with kids, but that somebody's going to want to join that company.
Is there a recruitment application? If I'm a recruiter, I jump onto the site. Is there any use for me there, do you think?
I think recruiters should use it with their clients. I mean, and their recruits. So if they're working with a job seeker and the job seeker wants to know what it's like at a company, that, you know, obviously sending them to check out the fit profile would be a good thing, you know, and it'll help them make a decision. Now, it's more information, right? So it can cut both ways. But I think generally, I think it'll help with recruiters and helping them, you know, convince somebody that either a company's right or not right for whatever the reasons are. Because recruiters are really good at taking all that information and helping somebody interpret it. You know, so even though there's more information, you can say, oh, well, do you need a recruiter to tell you if a place is a good place to work? Yeah, you might. You might need a recruiter to help you interpret what you're looking at.
It sounds like a great initiative, Art. Look forward to seeing more from theFit. It's I think the first polling site I've seen. I don't know whether there's anybody else quite in that space. Everyone else is writing text about things still, which has its place and it's useful and what have you. But I think this tool is going to be of tremendous value to the job seeker, and I think for everyone who's interested in working for good companies and being part of a good company. I think so.
No, I'm glad you think that. That's great.